Let's start here. Former President Jacob Zuma's corruption trial resumes this morning in Pietermaritzburg. They're discussing whether or not to continue with the trial actually from the 7th of November. It was postponed in August to allow the Constitutional Court to rule on Zuma's latest legal bid to remove Advocate Billy Downer as the prosecutor. Let's go to senior reporter Siphamandla Goge, who is in the Pietermaritzburg High Court, just to give us an update on what's been happening. Sipa, a lot of arguments, some of them very technical. Just tell us, first of all, the state's application on whether or not to continue on the 7th of November.
Well, those arguments are technical and they've got to do with logistics. At the center of this dilemma that the court is facing is what to do on the 7th of November. Today's date was set down provisionally as a holding date to say, the court would have hoped that by now the Constitutional Court appeals would have been exhausted by the former president. If that would have been the case, they would have come to court to say, we are done with the appeals processes. Now we need a few weeks to put all logistics together so that we can commence with the trial on the 7th of November. With that not happening, the matter still before the courts, as recently as last week, the former president's legal team applying to the Constitutional Court, lodging their application for leave to appeal that decision not to grant the former president his wishes, whereby he wants the state lead prosecutor, Advocate Billy Downer, removed. Now he only filed last week. The Constitutional Court will need to sit and decide whether to grant him his wishes, to grant him that application for leave to appeal. So this matter is far from over. On the other side, in court today, Advocate Billy Downer, who is the lead prosecutor, is adamant that the matter needs to proceed, and in any case he believes that there are no prospects of success when the former president goes to the Constitutional Court. The former president's legal team says, what's the rush? We are within our legal rights here and constitutional rights for our client. He has complied with all the time frames and deadlines to submit and file his application for leave to appeal. So there is no rush. Let's wait for all the appeals processes to be exhausted, and then we can take it from there. There is no need to create a number of scenarios to say if the application is dismissed or if it's granted. Rather wait for everything to unfold, then we can come back and commence with the trial. Advocate Billy Downer saying this will lead to further delays because the matter is already delayed. He told the judge in court that you are looking at next year if you don't commence with the trial in November. So his argument was, let's get underway, we'll deal with whatever comes at a later stage. We are likely to predict what will happen because the former president's application has been dismissed on a number of occasions. So if we put this one on hold, we wait for all the appeals processes to be concluded. That will take this matter to next year, probably April or May, to get underway with the matter. So it's a short comfort break for now inside court. We will go back, the session will resume, and we wait to hear what Judge Bidkun will rule. And after this short adjournment, Advocate Billy Downer will have to respond on what has been raised by former President Jacob Zuma's legal team, and they have brought the issue of the private prosecution of Billy Downer by Mr. Zuma, saying, well, in any case, there is a matter here that Advocate Billy Downer is one of the accused. In fact, former President Jacob Zuma's lawyer saying, if I were to borrow and use the phrase, he needs to step aside.
And I know I have to let you go, Sipa, because the comfort break is going to come to an end soon. But very quickly, if you could summarize for us this letter that Zuma's legal team wrote to Judge Bidkun and sent to him on Sunday, that being yesterday. Do you have any details of what that letter says exactly?
I think it was just to appraise the judge on the latest developments. Remember, they filed on Friday or last week. They sent through their application for leave to appeal. They approached the Constitutional Court, and then they needed to brief the judge before coming to court today. They needed to appraise the judge on the latest development. The judge saying he hasn't even had time to go through that letter that was sent to him, because I think it was sent on Sunday just after 1, in fact 1:45 if I'm not mistaken. So Judge Bidkun asking the former president's legal team to help him with some of the paragraphs there to say what is it really that they have written to him. All of that, remember, needs time. It was the weekend. He needs time to go through that. So we are hoping that inside court we will be able to get, a clearer understanding of what has been submitted by former President Jacob Zuma's legal team to Judge Piet Koen. But it's all about logistics to say, where are we with this matter? What is it that they seek to achieve now that these appeals processes are still underway?